I don't think I didn't see you, boy. Try to sneaky. You know what? Get wrecked, son. And don't think I didn't see your little speedy tail coming at me. Oh, you duck and weave. Look at that. Duck and weave. You still dead. Get burned, boy. Jeez. Just trying to show the peeps some expanded storage. Y'all be raising ruckus all up in here. I don't know who y'all think y'all did. Oh, well, good night. Come on now. Huh? Hit me again. Shoot me. Shoot me. Why didn't it blow up? Oh, that boy hurt. Maybe I best back up just a little bit. Get a munch on. How he blow up stuff? That wasn't even nice. Did a creeper sneak up behind us? But we got blow up creeper stuff turned off. How'd that blow that stuff up? I don't even know. Don't even know. But you, sir, are getting on my daggum last nerve. Oh, he blowed up again. Now that ain't nice. Look at you. What the heck, man? You gonna kill me. I best get inside. You trying to murder me. That boy's bow. I want that bow. We gonna heal up and I'm gonna go get that bow. You better give me that bow. Blow up my house like that. Who you think you are? I tell you what. Man, that guy had a ton of health. He gotta be some kind of big boss baddie. Look at that. Tore up my whole setup over there. With your diamond armor shiny like that. People just rude. Just plain rude. Oh, you.
Shut up and sit down.
Greetings, fellow Earth travelers. Oblyx here, coming at you today from the new frontier. How y'all doing today? I'm back. So, today we are going to take a look at some actually additions. To start with, I showed y'all in the last video how you can use these pure daisies. Look at that. I guess some running water to make snow. Now, I've got these actually additions auto breakers, breaking those snow blocks. When they break them, they suck them into their own internal inventory. Then these nice transfer nodes are pulling all that out down these pipes and dumping them into this mechanism, basic bin. I love this basic bin, I gotta tell you, because it renders the item on the front so it's nice and easy to tell what's in there, and it tells you how much it is. That's amazing. There's some other deep storage units. This guy holds at its basic level, I think 4,096 items, which is a ton. But you can upgrade it, as with all things mechanism, into various levels, an advanced, an elite, and an ultimate tier, and each tier gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, like I said, there are some other deep storage units that can also be upgraded. There's Yaba barrels, which are these guys here, and there's caches from thermal expansion, which is one. I've got one here. They're both okay. I prefer this one because I really like this interface on the front of it. This thermal expansion cache, you know, it doesn't show you how many is in there. I don't like that. Even if you shift, you can see 64, but you know, that's about it. I think if I throw some more in there, see, it still just shows 64, and we just threw 128 in there. It only shows you one stack at a time. See, there's 3 stacks inside there, and you know, Wayla or one probe or whatever the heck that is up there is only showing one stack. I don't like that. Now, this little bar down here where you think the number would be, it does start lighting up red as this thing gets full. So that part's nice. And you can pump items in and pull items out from all directions, which is nice. Unlike this basic bin, only accepts items from the top, which kinda sucks. Now, Java barrels take things from all directions, which is nice. It does give you the numbers, but in a way most people don't like. So if I pull these stacks out and I throw them in there, so you can see it's got 4 by 64. Now if I shift, it actually tells me that's 256 items of 4096 items, which the barrels can be upgraded to something like 2 million. They can be pretty darn deep storage. One thing I don't like with them in this pack that I don't seem to remember being a problem in other packs. If I break this, you see there's one stack in there right now, 64 items. If I break it and then pop it back down, well, now see, it's showing the items. Last time I did this, it lost the items and the barrel became useless. I could not put anything else into it. You should be able to break these, carry them somewhere else, pop them down, and they retain the items, which it does seem to be doing now, but it sure wasn't doing it just a few minutes ago. So I think there might be a little bit of bugginess going on with them here in this particular pack. I have seen them in other packs work decently well, though I do seem to notice an issue when you use them with applied energistics, where the texture can be lost on them. They default back to this original texture. There's a nice feature of these guys where you can paint them to look like other blocks, and you can change the shape of them. But when you attach them to applied energistics, you make a change to the network on a very large network, they'll revert back to this setting until you leave the area and come back. So they're just they're a little bit buggy, I think. But at the end of the day, we probably will go with these for our long-term deep storage, just because they're so massive. Once we get our perma base set up. But the reason I've got all these snowballs here is I need compressed ice for a project I've got planned down the road. So there's no ice biome near me, at least not that I've found yet. So one way that you can make compressed ice in this pack, if I type it right, why don't I just type ice and stop being a goofball? Packed ice. Man, I always call it compressed ice. But in this pack, you can take ice and turn it into packed ice. Well, to make ice, you can do that with snow. So all we need are compressors. So I just happen to have a couple of compressors right there. So we can use one of these guys to turn our snow that we're gathering automatically here into ice. And then we can use another one to turn ice into packed ice. Now this is Industrial Craft 2, and I know this mod makes a lot of people really nervous, and I am going to go in this house and I'm going to go to sleep, because last time I stayed out overnight I died 3 times because some big old nasty came up with me. He had a bow that every time he hit me with an arrow it exploded in my face and broke blocks and did all kind of nastiness, and it was just bad. So we're going to look at Industrial Craft 2 today. I'm going to take it real slow and real easy. You don't have to be afraid of this mod. I know if you come in here and you do industrial and you're just like, oh my god, look at all this stuff. How am I supposed to know what the recycler and solid cannon machine and blast furnace do, and metal former, and what the heck is an induction furnace and all this? I get it. But we're going to make it easy. Don't you worry about it. The first and foremost rule to Industrial Craft 2 is never, 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 never break a machine with a pickaxe. Unlike pretty much every other mod out there, that's a huge no-no. It will, most of the time, destroy the machine. And you're going to be left with a casing, and that's all. So, bad idea. Make you one of these a rich. You can shift, click on the machines, and pick them up as the full machine. They won't break on you. So, not too bad. It's just some bronze in a Y pattern, and you got your wrench. It does take durability, but you will absolutely need one. But before we get too deep down in industrial craft, let me show you how to make these auto breakers. Since I've already got them up and running here, and I done did it without showing you because I'm mean like that, I'll give you a quick rundown. They're not hard. That's why I went ahead and did them. So there's two types. There's the auto breaker and the long range auto breaker, and they basically do the same thing. The only thing is the long range one goes out to, I think, 8 blocks. So it's great for farming things like sugarcane and pumpkins and melons, cactus, stuff like that, because it'll reach out a distance. We don't need a distance for what we're doing here. We just want it right beside it, so we're good to go with the basic one. So the basic one uses cobblestone, a void crystal, and a coil. Now the coil is Rustonia crystals and black quartz. So I'll show you real quick how to make void crystals and Rustonia crystals. It's not hard. You need one of these guys, an atomic reconstructor, and basically it's just a laser. It's even safe. You can get all up in it as long as it doesn't have a lens on there. There are certain lenses that will murder your face, but without the lens, it's safe. Now what it does is it turns something into something else. So if I take a piece of coal and a piece of redstone and toss them down in front of the laser and hit the button, see how they turn into something else? They turn into our Rustonia and our void crystal. So coal becomes void crystal, redstone becomes Rustonia, emerald becomes emeradic, iron becomes Inori. That's actually kind of a cool looking one. If we take a piece of iron and toss it down there, it turns into a star, which is called Inori crystals. So not hard at all. Let's go ahead and put our armor back on. I don't want to get blowed up again. So not hard at all to get actually additions going, and there's a lot of useful things in it, but you will need this atomic reconstructor. Now when you first place this guy down, he is in like always on mode, and he is going to start firing his laser all the time, which is not what you want, because it's going to suck your power dry, because it takes quite a bit of laser, or quite a bit of power with each laser shot. So if you look in the center there, see it says redstone mode pulse. I've set it to that. By default, it's on deactivation like that, which means it's just going to sit there, and as soon as it's got enough power, it's going to shoot, and it's just going to keep shooting over and over and over. To turn that off, grab you a redstone torch and bap it. Now you see how it switched to pulse, which means you can throw a button or a lever on it, and whenever you give it a redstone signal, it's going to shoot. So I could even throw that torch down there and it's going to make it shoot. So just give it a redstone signal and it will shoot, and that's going to save you a ton of power. It's basically going to sit here passive until you're ready for it. Now you don't have to point it down. I just like doing that because I can easily throw the items right here. You can actually, instead of placing the items, you can place them in block form. Just toss the whole block down there and hit it, and it will turn. I just prefer to do the items because you can throw a whole bunch down, and you can throw a bunch of different types down at one time. So super easy, but that'll get you going in there. Now to start with industrial craft, We talked about our wrench already. You're also going to need tree taps, which is just planks in this pattern. I'm going to make 5 of them. They don't stack, unfortunately. 4 of them we're going to use for something else down the road. One of which we're going to use for getting what we're going to turn into rubber, which is this sticky resin. So you need to go out in the world and find you some rubber trees. And they look like that. Just walk out in the world, go hunting. Pretty much every forest has some. I think they grow in anywhere an oak can grow, I believe is the rule. So this is what they look like. Now see this little button looking thing on the side of it here, that funny color? That is... Shut up! Good night, these animals. We're going to pay no attention to that empty pig pen. They may have gotten irritating. You want to take this tree tap and you want to bop that funny color. And see, it spits its goo at you. And you get sticky resin. That you will turn into rubber. And you will need rubber for quite a few things in this mod. Now you can, of course, chop these trees down to get the saplings. So you could, out in the world, you can chop one down, get the saplings, and bring them back to your house. Once you plant them at your house, hit them with some bone meal to grow them just like this. Then you can take the leaves off just like this. You don't have to, but this lets you see all the bark because the sticky resin, like see that one way up there, it might be way up there. And then how do you get to it with all them leaves in the way? See, now we can get to it. I've got some over here that I've been farming for the rubber, that I've pulled all the leaves off. I leave the top leaves on. It doesn't hurt anything, and nothing grows up there anyway. I'll leave these like this so I can come through here and just knock all that sticky resin off of them real quick. Now notice these taps do take durability pretty quick. What I do is I usually just keep one in my tablet all the time, and anytime I walk by, I just run by and grab them. If your pack has Ender IO, you can use the farmer and these with tree taps in it to get a whole bunch of sticky resin automatically. So, once you get your sticky resin, you can throw it in your furnace just like that, and it will turn into this, which is rubber. You see I've got a bunch already down there. But that's not the most efficient way to do it. The most efficient way is to use a device. Let's actually just take a look at it. Called an extractor. If you notice, one sticky resin in an extractor becomes 3 rubber. You can also throw the wood from the tree should you choose to harvest the trees instead in there and get rubber as well. So we want to build an extractor. Pretty easy, just a circuit, a machine casing, and some extra taps, which is why we built our extra taps. Now, one of the most important tools in this mod is your hammer. Now, I've already got one, but you can also see it's only got 3 uses left. They start with 80, so I've been doing some work. The other tool you want is these wire cutters. So you want to make these fairly early. And these are just some plates and 2 ingots. Now the plates we're going to do like this. We're going to take our hammer and we're going to put in whatever we want to make a plate out of. So in this case, I need 8 iron plates. I have 5, so I need to make 3 more. So a little shift clicking, I now have 8. Now, it did consume that hammer up. It used all 3 of my last uses on that hammer, which is why we made a new one, so we could have one ready to go. Now, in the event you want to make wire, you could use, say, copper. Make a plate. Took some durability on our hammer. Then we can put the wire cutters in there with a plate and get 2 cables. We can take those cables, put them in there with a couple pieces of rubber, which is why we need that rubber, and we make insulated copper cable. This is our power conductor for industrial craft. Now, this is actually the mid-tier. There's actually a lower tier and a higher tier, but this mid-tier works fine for us. So I need a machine casing. So just 8 like that. And we want to put our taps in as such. And I've already got a circuit made in here. So we can make our extractor. Boom, super tree tap. Now, industrial craft has its own power sources, as most mods do. Thermal expansion has dynamos, mechanisms got solar and wind and other things. The power in mechanism, quite honestly, leaves a lot to be desired. The early game power. The furnace burns through a ton of coal, it's loud, and it does not produce very much power. These solar panels are a joke. Don't waste your time. I will show you, but they're bad. Let's get our sleep on real quick so we can go back outside without dying. Yeah, if I pop these down and I pop our extractor down and run some cable, we can see that the extractor is filling up with power very slowly. If I throw the sticky resin in, it'll start producing, just at a real slow rate. And you see it is consuming every ounce of power that both of these cells can make. And now it's going to start shutting off because it's consumed everything. And these cells have full sun. They're doing the best they can do. Now, hear that? Oh, it's horrible. It's gone into it. I can barely get it unstate. It's so bad. We have to turn that off. That is so annoying. Yeah, don't bother. Don't even. It's not worth it. If you're playing a pack, if you're only playing with industrial craft, okay. But man, if you're playing a pack that has other things, heaven forbid use other things. Thank goodness we have mechanism. Mechanism is life. These basic universal cables for mechanism are awesome because they auto-magically convert any type of power into pretty much any other type of power. How awesome is that? Thank you very much. So we can pop our compressors down. We can pop our extractor down. See how they all connect? They all get power from our solar panels up on the roof. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, I did add another one. So we now have 2. We're producing 480 RF per tick. So there you go. So now we can drop all our sticky resin in. It's still going to make ruckus. But it's not going to do that rum mess. And it's just going to sit there and make it off of our sun power, which is awesome. So good. So good. Now, we want to get to where we're turning ice into snow, or snow into ice into packed ice. So what I want to be able to do is take these chests. I want to dump snow in here, and I want to get packed ice out here, and I want it to run through these machines in the middle. If I go grab some snow, get a couple stacks here. Now we're going to turn this into the blocks. That should be 32 blocks for us. And I drop these in this chest. You'll see, nothing happens. And there's not really an interface to do much with. You can see recipes, okay? You can see compatible upgrades, but that's about it. You can't do anything else. It's not like thermal expansion or mechanism where you can say, hey, on this side I want you to do this, and on this side I want you to do that. It doesn't work that way. It's kind of old school. But it does work. If I take a block of snow and drop it in, it's got power. It's going to turn it into ice. It is slow, but it works. Boom, there's our block of ice. Now once I have 2 blocks of ice, I can throw them in here and it'll turn it into packed ice. In order to get it to pull from that chest, we need to add a pulling upgrade. And that will say, hey, go get whatever's beside you and work with that. Right? So if we come over to this guy, well, we want to stay in this guy, sorry. Once he makes the ice, we want him to push it into this guy, right? So we need an ejector upgrade. And that will say eject that into the next machine down the line. If this machine weren't here, it would just eject it back into this chest. So now that it's got 2 pieces of ice, it's going to start making packed ice. Boom, there we go. Now we want it to pull out of there and throw it into the next chest. So we need another ejector upgrade. And there's our packed ice. So if we go out here and grab a whole bunch of snow. Ugh, stuck on the door. Man, I get stuck on that door more than anything else. Did I not grab those? Or did I grab them and throw them back in? Man, where is my head today? My goodness. Hello? I was holding shift, grabbing one at a time like a goofball. My goodness. Let's see if we get stuck on the door. No, we made it through this time. Alright. So if we take our snowballs and we turn them into blocks as such. Drop those in here. You'll see them get sucked into the machine, as many as it can hold anyway. And it'll start crunching away on them. Pushing them over here, crunching away on them. As soon as it gets 2, it'll start working. And we're going to end up with a whole bunch of packed ice. Nice! So, that is going to be our little industrial craft setup for today to get us our pure daisy, running water, snow, turned into packed ice, which we will use for a project with that. I hit it. I don't think so. Failure. Anyway, that's all the time I got for today, folks. I sure do appreciate y'all coming to hang out with me. He, snowball in your face. Until next time, y'all get out there and make some noise. See ya!